comment. Again, the same old for us. If you can't keep the ball out of the lane, it's going to be difficult for your team to secure the victory. That's me, Bill. We got to do a better job of that. That's something that we've tried to focus on, and we haven't executed it in a way yet that warrants the opportunity to win the game on the scoreboard. But Florida International did a good job of really trying to drive our guards. They were persistent at it, and consequently 44 out of their 71 were in the lane. Not a good recipe. Questions?
Coach, of that last offensive possession there, they obviously were out guarding the three, but did you feel like that was kind of what you were looking for with the Kyle Roach shot there on the wing?
No, we missed on an action. Timing was a little off. That's me. I'll take that one. Our late game execution is usually pretty good, but they had a foul to give, and we had no timeouts left. So I don't think he could have driven the ball, scored it, and then we foul, and then foul again, with there being enough clock to get another possession. So tried to go for a three on that last one.
You mentioned the difficulty keeping teams out of the paint. Is that just something that, with the guy and the makeup of your roster right now, that it's just difficult to overcome from a size disparity? Obviously, it's, no secret that you guys aren't the tallest in the league.
Part of it's roster construction. Yeah, I'm sure that any coach would say that about their team, especially those that aren't winning the league or contending for a championship. There's elements or pieces that are missing, but that's every roster in the country, John. I feel like we were doing it. We do it on occasion when we're at home. We seem to be a lot better, but again, that's indicative of most teams in college basketball. And here's the misnomer: like, FIU is good. They compete with everyone, and they're good at home. They beat Sam Houston here. I think they beat New Mexico State and UTEP. I'm not sure. I don't remember that. Watched enough games that they're all running together. But to beat a good team on the road, you can't give up 11 offensive rebounds and give up 44 points in the paint. You just can't. Not unless you shoot lights out. We weren't poor tonight, and we take care of the ball pretty well. But we dig these holes, we come back, and that speaks to our guys' character, right? Like they're never gonna quit. But we got to overcome our limitations with a little bit more discipline, a little bit more execution, and we'll keep working on that.
When you mentioned the discipline and the execution, Coach, how much of that is just focus and locking in and being able to hold that for 40 minutes?
Well, I mean, again, everyone will evaluate it on the scoreboard, and like if the score was flipped and we won 76-71, it wouldn't be as big of an eyesore to the public. But for us, who we see them every day, we feel like we've got a good system. We feel like we do it for the most part, the majority of the time. But when teams go on runs, or when you do it for the full 30-second shot clock and they get an offensive rebound, they make you guard again. That's a lot, especially with what we ask our guys to do on the offensive end and their pace of cut and some of the actions that we run. So I hope I answered your question, Eddie. Did I? I kind of went on a tangent there.
Yeah, okay. You did, Coach. And one more, you mentioned, the shooting and the shots going in at times and not going in at others. Kaden Maness, what was he able to provide, particularly creating a spark as you guys erased the 14-point deficit?
Kaden's really good, and again, I think we've been okay on the offensive end. There's just a different perspective when you're playing from behind all the time. You feel like you got to catch up. You feel like, man, this is going the wrong way, and there's a narrative that is unspoken sometimes that you got to keep fighting. And you know what, guys, we got to do it on our own personal lives. Like, you got to fight the lies that are screaming in your ear, the lies that we tend to believe. And this is a good team. Our guys, they play together, they work really hard, they're connected. And one guy could do it like Kaden did tonight. Another guy could do it the next night. We're at our best when we're sharing it, when we're making the extra pass, when we're putting pressure on the rim, when we get to the line, and then when we're hard to play against defensively. I don't think we were consistent enough tonight for that to happen, because on the road it's a lot more difficult.
Coach, you got just 2 weeks left in the regular season. Does it seem like it's just one of those seasons, one of those years in Conference USA where with so much parity in the league that the margin between winning and losing on the road is just razor thin?
Yeah, certainly, John. Great point. We've experienced that. Truth is way more evident when it's experiential truth, and it's not just head knowledge or metrics or analytics. And we've experienced the margin for error when we go on the road. Now, we're in every game. That's the character of our group, and I think our programs has an expectation to win. But right now, Huntsville's not the focus for us. The focus is just keep getting better. We've had two games in 12 days. So the practices are a little less consistent, and you don't have that edge sometimes. And again, I don't know how many we played on the road, but two more on the road than at home. So not that home is going to cure all your ills, but I do think it'll be nice having 3 out of 4 at our place, even though they're all quality opponents, just going into that week. But it won't be as nice if we don't solve these we don't find solutions for the problems or the equation that we continue to be presented with.
Last question I've got tonight. You decided to go back with Brody in the starting lineup to begin. Was that maybe trying to offset some of what you saw Saturday night to start the game down in Texas?
Well, we started horribly in Texas. But John, I try and measure it on just the way they practice. And I think we've had the same starting lineup. I don't know what game is this, 27, so 25 at 27. I'm not too big at jerking guys in and out of that. I think Brody's earned it. I think we have 6 guys that could and should start, but if I rolled 6 out there, it'd be a technical foul. And again, they'll get another week to prep for 1 week to prep for New Mexico State, and we'll see who earns it then. But certainly the slow start has something to do with it, but I also want to keep JB on the floor, and he's been getting in foul trouble early, and that changes our rhythm a bit. Is that it, guys?
Yep, one more. Zach went out of the game early and then came back in. What happened? What clarity can you provide on that? Since obviously he was good enough to be able to come back and contribute.
Yeah, he's the heart of a champion. He wasn't his best self, so I hesitated in using him. I felt like we had to. I don't have the injury report. Aaron just told me that he can go back in, and he stood up the whole half. He stood up in timeouts because I think he was hurting a little bit, but he wanted to be out there with his teammates. So credit him for that. The dude's really tough. Really wants to win. Thanks, guys.